What's up, everybody? Welcome back to 123 Go with Jay, and this is another episode of Go Rolling with Me. Little AMSR for the Ryker riders out there who are sick and shut in or just not able to get out there on the road because the weather might not be good, or you just got something else to do. Maybe you're just sitting at work in your cubicle and you're just thinking about riding and it's all on your mind all day long, but you're sitting there working because you gotta pay the bills. So I decided I'd do the ride for you so you can just kind of kick back and relax for a minute, pretend you're in the driver's seat, and go rolling with me. So in this episode, as you can see, I'm joined by my boy Alexis. He's in the back, so I'm taking lead on this ride. This is actually his first time taking this route, and the way this all happened, I actually had taken this route multiple times before. This is actually a stretch of road, Highway 200, that goes between Monroe, North Carolina and Locust, North Carolina. And a little shout out to Locust. They got a nice little paintball field out there that I like to get it in sometimes when the weather cools off. So I'm familiar with the area, and it's always a nice, pleasant drive, and I like to take the long way to get there. It's just more relaxing. This particular day, it was a weekend, if I'm not mistaken, a little bit late in the evening, so we decided we, get up and just take off and see where we ended up. So Alexis, at the time, I think he had maybe 900 to 1,000 miles on his odometer versus me having like almost 3,000 miles on mine. So I definitely was doing a lot more riding at that particular time than he was. Since then, he's definitely increased his odometer, but at that point, when we're adding this ride, he's definitely, not as much, he's not getting as much time in the seat as I've been at this point. So as a result of that, we were just kind of taking it easy, and this was probably the best day to do it. There was no traffic out. The speed limit out here on Highway 200 is 55 miles an hour. There's a lot of straightaways. The road surface is nice and smooth, and there's some points where you get a little, some twisty, so you get a little chance to open it up a little bit, get a little performance ride in. But I think the thing I love most about this stretch of road is that it's great for late evening when the sun starts to set on the horizon. It's one of the few areas in Union County where you actually get an unobstructed view of the horizon at a pretty good distance. There's a couple little points where you can kind of stop, and there's like just some areas where people tend to just stop their cars and just watch the sun to the west, and it's gorgeous. So we actually might get a little glimpse of that as I'm riding, and I'll definitely make sure I call it out in a few of the areas that really stand out to me, and areas that I've stopped at previously on rides when I was by myself. So again, Alexis is on the 2022 Ryker Sports, so am I, and again, we've had our Rykers probably a few months between each other when we made our purchases, so we keep them clean and we keep them well maintained, so that way we can go out and have fun while we're out riding. As you can see, check out that view right there. Look at the clearing in the trees, and they're further back, so you can really take it all in versus having the tree line being right up on the shoulder and kind of limiting your view in the distance. As you can tell, I'm definitely gonna do a few camera cuts here. Part of the reason why is because I can. I'm using the Insta360 X3 model. I know the X4 is out, but I really don't see a need in this particular time or moment to go to 8K recording, but maybe one day I will. So I was able to, get a few different perspectives on this ride, and I think this is a ride where it's worth it. So definitely make sure I gave you all some different views so that you're not just sitting there watching one shot the entire time. Another reason why I did is because, like a clown, I moved the selfie stick a few times, and it changed the perspective when I went back and looked at the video and post. So I had to kind of make up for some of the mistakes I made when I was physically moving the camera around. But needless to say, I think it resulted in some really cool footage. It's going to be about a 20-minute long video, so this is a good time if you are stuck at work, or you're sitting at home and you're trying to do something to just kind of occupy the time, and you're not able to get out and ride because the weather's bad or you're not feeling well. Well, 20 minutes, it's a good time to get your fix in on the Ryker, or even a two-wheeler if you just like the sounds and just want to imagine this is you riding and going through the wind and twisting that throttle and having a little fun. That's what this video is for. A lot of beautifully manicured lawns out here, a lot of farmland out here. Just an open road, man. I love it. As you can see my speedometer, I'm doing about floating between 50 and 55 and 60. So, like I said, good little speeds out here, mostly straightaways. Nothing too crazy. At least not on this first stretch of the ride anyway. This is a ride that I will take sometimes when the weather changes and it's a little bit cooler out. Primarily because I've taken this route so many times, I kind of know where my turnarounds are. Like, you get a point, sometimes you have that point of no return where you like have committed to more than half of the ride, so you have to just kind of thug it out and finish and turn around. Sometimes I do that, sometimes I don't. It just depends on how I'm feeling, but this is definitely one of those rides where it's not too difficult for me to get to this stretch of road from where I actually live. It takes me about 10 to 15 minutes to actually get to this highway from my house. And so I might ride it for another 15 minutes or so, then turn around and head back. And that gives me roughly about 45 minutes to an hour of seat time on the Ryker. And sometimes that's all I need when the weather is not all that great outside, when it's a little bit on the cool side. I imagine that most of you all, as you're out riding, you kind of have your favorite routes as well. This is definitely probably one of my favorite routes. It's in my top 5 for sure. I've done this run, man, probably 20 to 30 times at least. So you see Alexis is keeping up. He's definitely maintaining good, safe following distance. As you can see, I'm doing the same thing behind this vehicle in front of me. I do think it's important to have your fun, but stay safe, stay sharp, because you want to be able to go out and do this over and over again. If you're taking too many risks, you're going to eventually take the one that puts you in a bad situation. So I'm a firm believer in just having fun. I'll let it get loose a little bit, but I'm probably more of a conservative rider for sure. I want to get home, get cleaned up, reflect on the ride, and wake up the next day and be able to go do it again if I want to. So that's what I focus on. It's a great shot of Alexis right here. Look at that sun over on the right side of the screen. It's magnificent. So you probably see in the shadow that I've got the Insta360 mounted on my handlebar. So that's a good perspective. It gives you a good over the hood look. First person view of the ride, as you can see right here. Not really sure exactly what my preference is. I think I'm gonna go with a mixture of positions. See right here, I told you that's clown level activity right there. And as a result of that, it changed the experience for you all. I hope you all can still enjoy it. But as I was saying, I like the handlebar position because it gives me a chance to get some first person views over the hood. It also gives you a chance to kind of get a face shot of me and over my shoulder. But there's something about having the camera behind the rider that also is kind of cool too. So I'm not really sure which way I'm gonna go. I'll probably just do both over this journey of creating these episodes and go rolling with me, and you'll just pick and choose what you want to watch, and I'm okay with that. Either way, I'll have fun doing it. I love creating this type of content. I know it was impactful for me, so I hope that you all can enjoy it. That is an awesome shot. I love that. Doesn't even look like I'm on a 3-wheeler at that point. I mean, obviously I'm not leaning, so that kind of gives it away, but still a cool shot. Might have to put this one on a Christmas card or something. I love this shot. I love this time of day because the sun is behind me, so anytime I get that look where I'm facing me with the camera and looking back at Alexis on the camera, you get to see the sun behind us, and I think that's a really cool perspective. So that's fun. I love it. So we're getting kind of closer to the halfway point. We're not quite there at the halfway just yet, but this is at a point where if I was gonna try to make this a shorter ride, I'd start looking for my turnaround so I can go ahead and head on back. I've had my fun, but in this particular day, we're gonna roll all the way through. I think I might have been hungry too, so that was probably another motivation. I think we were going to head to Taco Bell or something like that, or Burger King, get us something to eat, because I definitely was, we completed the ride, so I know it ended with food for sure. Gotta love the Can-Am Ryker. You know, it does what it's supposed to do, man. You know, I hear a lot of people that are having issues with them. They have maintenance concerns. They have all sorts of things, you know. And some of the stuff is, I have to admit, self-inflicted. You know, you're putting on too many lights and accessories and speakers and all this other stuff, you know, and you open yourself up for the possibility that there could be malfunctions, you know, those VSS faults or whatever happens with the Ryker. So, you know, I personally just decided I'm not really concerned with all of that. I bought mine for the experience and the ride, and that's about it. So maybe one day I might add some LED lights, and my reasoning for doing that actually is not for high visibility. It's because maybe one day I'll get bored with the color, but like I told you, I'm not a risk taker, so I don't really see myself permanently changing the color of my Ryker. So I'll just get the LEDs and that'll be my color change, and I'm okay with that. That works for me. So one day I might be feeling green and I'll just turn the lights on, make them green, and now I've got green accents on my black Ryker. Next day I might feel like I'm in a Prince type mood and go with purple. So that's kind of what I'm thinking about doing, but that's still some time away. I'm not really in a rush to do anything like that. And we're starting to get now, like I mentioned earlier, we're getting towards the halfway point of this ride, and this is where things really start to kind of open up as far as the landscape. And look at that. Look at that sight line over to the left. And this is actually that area I was talking about. And boom, look at this shot of Alexis. He's definitely going to want this clip for his personal social media. And we just passed by one of the little areas that people like to pull over and look. And I'm giving him the heads up, like, take a look at that, man. That's awesome. I mean, you can see for miles from here. And who would have ever expected to see something like this in the state of North Carolina, somewhere in the central part of the state? Like, it's just amazing. I love it. You're probably going to end up seeing more of this particular area in future rides, because I just do this route so much, and you know, I just like to record it from different perspectives and different times of day. So you're probably going to see it again. Don't judge me. But this is just so awesome. Look at that. It's like I'm out somewhere in the Midwest, but no, I'm just right here in the Carolinas, Tar Heel State, getting busy. So something else I want to mention too, because as I'm just kind of active on social media and just trying to learn from other riders and their experiences, one of the things that I often encounter are new riders complaining about back pain. So if you notice, my feet are not fully extended out, and that's because I have my pegs pushed back to like I think the slots are numbered, and I want to say I usually either am in the 2 slot or the 3 slot. Now this camera angle does not give a good perspective on my true position. It kind of makes it look like my heels are back behind me under my butt. They're actually not. It would appear, if you saw me from a side profile on my Ryker, it would appear that I'm sitting in a chair, and that my feet are extended out maybe just a little bit from my heels out from under my knees. So when I first got the Ryker, I did what I thought made sense. I want to be comfortable, so I stretched the pegs all the way out to the furthest most position that my legs could reach. I'm roughly 5'10", so I had them all the way almost to the end, and went on a few rides, and I started feeling just back pain and fatigue, and I'm like, why is this happening? Like this, I did not pay this much money to be this uncomfortable. And so one day I just kind of was trying to figure it out, and I thought back to my training, my safety course, and I realized that one of the things they taught us in the safety course is whenever you're about to hit bumps, especially for the rear wheel, you know, you kind of raise your butt off the seat, and you let your legs absorb the shock along with the rear shock of the tire, and then you kind of let yourself back down onto the seat and you keep it pushing. Well, I was actually riding, and there was an unavoidable bump, and I attempted to raise my butt off the seat and I could not, and I had to like pull against the handlebars just to gain leverage to raise up. And the moment that I did that, that's when I recognized that that is not what I did when I was in the safety course. And I questioned myself and wondered, like, how do I get back to that where I can actually do it the way I was trained? And sitting there looking at the bike one day in the garage, and I said, let me move my pegs back, and slid them back a little bit to, like I said, to like the 3 position or maybe even a 2 position. And I went on a ride, and when I tell you that next ride, I think I was out on the bike for 2 or 3 hours with no pain, no discomfort. I knew right then and there, like, I got to start this crusade of encouraging all Ryker owners to slide those pegs back. This is not a lounge chair. It's not an ottoman. You don't need to have your legs extended all the way out onto where you're barely hitting the brake pedal with your tiptoes. Get those pegs closer to your body so that you can actually raise up and stand on the pegs without having to lean your weight against the handlebars. If you have to lean against the handlebars and pull against them, then the pegs are too far forward, okay? Make that change, everybody, and you'll notice the huge, significant difference when it comes to lower back pain from not having to have your lower back curved or arched while you're riding and having your legs stretched all the way out. It's almost like you're hinging your body. So I had to show that to Alexis, and it made a difference for him as well, because he had complained about the distance and discomfort in his lower back. And so he made the change, and like I said, now he's good to go. But definitely get those pegs pulled back some. Even if you think you're going to take a long trip on the highway, I'd still recommend not having them extended all the way out, because there's still going to be fatigue on your body over a long period of time. And you're not able to safely lean into your turns and push against your outside foot like you're trained in the training course. So keep that in mind too. Just want everybody to be safe out there. Loving this angle. One thing I'll say too, when you see these shots of me and I'm facing the camera, you'll notice my eyes. I'm always actively searching. I'm glancing at the speedometer. I'm glancing at my mirrors. I'm always fixated on, what's ahead of me, what's in my peripheral vision. You got to keep those eyes moving, folks. Don't ever get to a place where you're only staring straight ahead, because you're going to miss a lot of valuable information that can keep you safe. I'm even looking at Alexis back there, making sure he's safe, making sure he's maintaining a good following distance, because we do give each other feedback. We finish the ride up and we'll sit down and we'll talk and be like, hey man, did you remember that moment? Or when I did this, did you see that? Or when I saw you do this, what happened? So each ride is a learning lesson, and I think that's something that I enjoy about the Ryker as well, is that I'm always learning, and I feel like the day that I get on this thing and I don't feel like I've learned anything new, that's probably the day I need to go ahead and just let my license lapse and get off this thing. I always want to be actively involved in each and every ride and learn something new from each one. I think that's also what's so helpful about riding with another person, is that you get an opportunity to do that. They see things that you might not see. Like I said, I'm always checking. Even on a 2-lane, I'm still looking over my shoulder sometimes, checking that rear view, because who knows? There might be a vehicle overtaking us, and on a 2-lane road, that's good to know. So I'm always watching, always paying attention. Nice relaxed grip. Just chilling, just reading the road ahead of me and letting the Ryker do what it wants to do. Little sunset peeking over my shoulder there. Things are slowing down a little bit. We're getting a little bit closer to the end of the ride now, so you can hear the engines kind of backing off a little bit. But that's okay, because as far as I'm concerned, we're going to have many more episodes to go rolling with me. Hope you enjoy it. Hope you're having a good time. Like I said, maybe you're at work, maybe you're at home, maybe you're traveling and you're away from your Ryker, and you just miss it that much. This is an opportunity to reconnect until you all meet again. Little shot of the canopy above us, tree line. Thought it was kind of nice to get this shot. It's like something from a dream. So once we cross over these train tracks, we might be about 3 miles out from the end of the line. So definitely want to just tell you all to, continue to comment, like, subscribe. I really want to blow this channel up. My goal is to get one of those YouTube plaques, and who knows what may happen next. Maybe I get into some affiliate work. Maybe I start working on some product reviews, or start networking with other content creators and influencers and take this thing to the next level. I want to get an invitation to go to a Can-Am reveal or an expo or something like that. Like, I want to be able to walk around and let people get my impressions of the new Can-Am products that are coming out, or be able to demo those products. And I love riding 3 wheels. This is fun. A little bit late in life doing it, but hey, I'm still doing it, and that's all that matters. So as you can see, the speed limit's dropped down to 45 now, so we are definitely getting closer to the end of our run. Definitely just want to again say thank you for watching, and make sure you comment, like, subscribe, spread the word. And if you're on the fence about buying a Can-Am Ryker or any 3-wheel motorcycle for that matter, just go do it. Don't overthink it, just go do it. A friend of mine once told me, you have to shift your mentality. Stop thinking like an A student and start acting like a C student. A students are going to overthink it. They're going to talk themselves out of it. C students are just going to act like whatever they give you is what's going to work. They're going to just give you the work and just see what happens, Maybe they'll hit a home run, maybe they won't. So just start thinking like a C student. Go out there, do some research, buy you a Can-Am Ryker, and get out there and start tearing it up. Until next time, folks, y'all stay safe, stay sharp, and just keep enjoying all these wonderful experiences that Can-Am Ryker can give you.